Hello, I'm Tylah Tully, and today I'm joined by Norwest Minerals CEO Charles Schaus. Charles, can you start by giving us a quick update on Norwest and where the company's at?
Absolutely. Okay. Norwest has a series of projects. They're all in West Australia. They're all 100% owned by the company. And the lead project is the Bulgera gold project. We've got 8 million tons at 1 gram per ton for just under 300,000 ounces. We have just completed a phase 1 drilling program at Bulgera. Those results came through and showed that the mineralization does continue quite deep below the current resources. During that time we were drilling, we cleared some more pads through a heritage study, and the second phase of that program is starting next week. The results of those 2 drilling programs at Bulgera will then be handed over at the end of the year to our resource geologist, who will upgrade that resource. While the second phase of drilling is going on next week, it'll take a few days. That finishes, the rig will then move down to our Mary Maya East project, which is just 10 kilometers to the southeast of Bulgara. It's 230 square kilometers. And we did a big study on that, on the historical data, and found that in the mid to early 1990s, there was drilling carried out which defined about a 400 by 150 meter wide saprolite blanket just under the surface. And in 1996, a group stepped back and drilled quite a deep diamond hole just below the saprolite blanket. And at 200 meters vertical below that blanket, they hit 6 meters at 4 grams per ton gold. They never followed it up. We weren't really sure why, but the price of gold back then was about $350 an ounce. 4 grams per ton, not really at the time an underground grade. And so therein lies the opportunity for us to go back in, and we're going to drill above and along strike to see if we can develop a high-grade gold resource. So things are starting to happen at Bulgara.
It's definitely a very exciting portfolio.
It is.
So the Bulgera project in Western Australia presents the earliest opportunity for Norwest. Tell us about the recent achievements there.
All right. Aside from the drilling that we're doing, we, like every company, are looking for a source of income. We're looking to get into project development, and we had a look at some of our options, being an 8 million ton resource, low grade, 1 gram per ton, and we looked at possibly digging the ore and trucking it to a nearby plant to do toll treating in the region. We also looked at a CIL plant, and what we're finding is both of those options didn't quite work for us, didn't make us enough money. So we had to look at heap leaching. Now, heap leaching is huge in the States. It isn't huge here for various reasons, but we had to look at the CapEx, or the capital cost for that, and then, believe it or not, it's only $10 to $15 million to get these things going. By the way, Bulgara does sit on a granted mining lease. The Bulgara area was mined back in 2004. About 400,000 tons were taken and trucked down to the nearby plutonic gold mine to blend with their underground. So the Bulgara area has already had the impact of mining on it. So to put a heap leach project on it is quite viable. And we are making inroads there. 2 weeks ago I flew up, had a meeting with the Maputo people. They were quite supportive of the project, as long as we follow the protocols that we need to, and we're very familiar with those. We took the numbers, gave them to an independent mining consultant. They went through and showed that the project, based on the current estimated numbers, would turn over about $40 to $50 million per year for about a 4 to 5 year term. So on the weekend, a PQ rig, which is a wide diameter diamond rig, is showing up on site. It's going to drill through the areas where we would take the heap leach material from, and then those PQ cores will be sent to the ALS laboratories in Perth, and they'll start doing the heap leach test work. So They'll crush down that core to different sizes. They'll run diluted cyanide over it. They'll look at the recoveries, and the smaller you crush it, the higher the recoveries. But there will be a balance there where the cost of crushing outweighs the benefits of the recoveries of the gold. Once we have those numbers, we will hit the go button, and we'll be starting all the environmental studies, the water studies, everything that needs to come with a feasibility study. But also we'll get a good handle on exactly what the returns will be. So this is all happening. By the end of the year, we'll have a good handle on those lab numbers. So we're very excited about the heap leach project. A standalone operation for us would just be fantastic.
And finally, can you tell us a bit about your project in the West Arunta? What does this dual project strategy mean for investors?
Well, the West Arunta area, as everyone knows, is the focus for critical minerals for the country, basically. We have approximately 900 square kilometers of ground in one of the best parts of the Arunta Belt. In October of last year, we finished a big scout drilling program. And interestingly, a couple of the holes that we drilled, 7 in fact, hit a big silver base metal prospect. So we were quite excited about that. But of course, at the time we were doing the scout drilling, the rig finished working in that area and moved on. By the time the results came around, the program had finished. On the 23rd of December last year, we put out the announcement about the silver base metals hits we were getting. And so we had to think about how we were going to approach following up on that. Now there's remobilize a rig, drill along strike, drill deeper. That's very expensive. And the interesting thing about this, what we call Dales-Gossan, this silver base metals hit, is that it sits on this major structure. It's a big fault line that runs right through our tenements for 40 kilometers. And quite often when you have a mineralization on one of these major structures, you can find repeats. So we wanted to look at all of that, and the way we were going to do that is a big geophysical program, IP program. We costed that all out. It was about $250,000, $300,000 to do that work. And about 5 or 6 months ago, we got word that our West Australian government is undertaking this detailed magnetic radiometrics program over our and others in the West Arunta, over the entire Arunta Belt in Western Australia, covering all of our tenements, including the Dales-Gossan. So we put the $300,000 IP program on hold, and we're going to wait. The government's program will finish in December, and by early 2026, we should be able to use that information to see if there are repeats or extensions to Dales, and also repeats along that major structure. So without spending any money, we're going to get some really interesting information coming back on West Arunta. And it's not your typical critical mineral, but silver and base metals, they're still we were probably one of the first ones to find something like that out there. So I would encourage people to go and have a look at our presentation we released last Thursday, as well as the quarterly report that's coming out this week. So it does talk about both, all of the projects that I've just described.
Charles, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
For more ASX news and analysis, subscribe below.